Hi, Rosanna.
Hello. Hi, Assis.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the podcast.
Oh, it's good to be here. Yeah, thank you for inviting me on. It's great to be with you on this lovely wintry morning and have a chat with our oranges.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. And just to come into why I wanted to bring you on is because you're a psychotherapist, art therapist specifically, and a lot of the things that you do is you go into the internals of people and you really get to help people to get to know what's going on inside of them and help them realize and see themselves. And that's very much in keeping with the work I do, in the sense of I help people to tell their story, and it's a lot of internal work and then bring that out of them to visualize that story so they can see themselves outside of themselves. So I think the work that we do is very much linked.
Yes.
I would love to hear from you and share about the work that you do.
Yeah, I noticed that as soon as we met, actually, or quite quickly when we started to get to know each other, because we met just over a year ago, didn't we? And we met dancing, actually. We were at a dance, shaking our stuff out. And then we realised we lived quite close to each other, so we walked home together and got chatting. And we've been connected ever since, and it felt like quite an instant connection. And I think one of the things I noticed really quickly was that we seemed to really share similar values in terms of what you're talking about. So creating safe or inviting, opening spaces where people can feel safe to come out, almost to emerge, to share of themselves, maybe to share more, those vulnerable parts sometimes as well that we all might hide or protect at times. And I guess there's a shared value in creativity as well. I think creativity is for everyone, and I think you have that similar ethos. And so many adults, my work, because I'm an art psychotherapist, so I've been trained to work with 7 different art forms. And I notice I work with adults, and so many adults have been shamed or shut down around their creativity, and they might have received messages really early on in their lives somehow about, you're not good at that, or don't bring that part of yourself out. And creativity can be such a doorway, I think, to aliveness, really, to feeling like having creative dialogue with how it is to be alive, to be in spontaneous connection with things, or rather than, we all get into that autopilot mode sometimes where we feel a bit like The Walking Dead. You're just going through the motions, but you don't really feel any spontaneity or energy or aliveness. So I think we both seem quite passionate about helping other people see themselves and see the beauty in themselves, and that they have something unique in their expression to offer in the world.
And that is something that really drew me to you in the first place, and when we first met, because it was at the dance. And I can't remember what the name of the place was. It was
like a heart dance, wasn't it? I remember the name of the dance was Into
dance.
The Heart or something, wasn't it? But
And there's something really cool about that, because the thing that I love about ecstatic dance as well is it's basically a free spiritedness, and it's this whole thing of there's no right or wrong. The whole thing is just to move in your natural way, and the fact that we're both there on the same night, and that's how we connected, and it was really cool. And something that really drew me to you straight away was the fact that that you're there's a creativeness about you, and the way that you were very expressive and just yourself. And just that following week or during that time as well, I was also doing portraits for people, just to kind of to get that initial move for myself, moving of creating portraits for people around Brighton and Hove, and because I've been fortunate to meet so many amazing people since I've moved here, and just at that time as well, I then invited you to become part of that collection.
Yeah, lucky me. Got a beautiful portrait. No, but it was such a beautiful experience because we hadn't known each other that long then. But you have a real gift in seeing. Well, yeah, I think what we're talking about is almost that we both have that desire to bear witness to other people, to like reflect their truth back to them, to reflect their beauty back to them. And, you know, that's what you were really offering through that beautiful project you did. And like, there was so much energy. And you said we met up, you took a photo, you did a little photo shoot. So like capturing someone in their most natural kind of essence, and then you painted it and shared it with me. And yeah, it was such a moving gift to receive, because also as a therapist I offer a lot of seeing other people, but I guess one of the reasons I do that is there's probably some part of me that has felt very unseen before in the past, so to receive such a gift was like, it meant something quite like really was beautiful to receive that.
And thank you for saying that, because I think that was the thing that really, like, what you said there about really seeing someone, and it was that was the seed behind it all, was or if you could only see the way I see you, you know what I mean, like and being able to really capture that, share that with you, so then it's like, oh yeah, like I am this person also, you know, because, and it's like, it links very much with the work that you do as well with the therapy work, because it feels like you're doing that with people is like by helping them to unravel and unlock themselves, so then they can actually see who they are, and coming out of the other side to be like, oh yeah, like maybe I am kind of within this story that I've kind of told myself, but actually coming out of that, I can then basically like be the person I actually am, and this is actually who I actually really am. So yeah, like and coming further through that, there's this whole thing of like really kind of bringing it back, because one of the key messages within my work is about oranges and unlocking and I think like this symbol is something that also really connects both of our work as well, and kind of something I really want to unpack with you today.
So if you can't see, we've got the video going, but we're also on recording, so we've both, Assis has brought us both a delicious orange, which we've got in front of us, a San Antonio orange, and they've still got the leaves on them as well, so they're just fresh oranges. And
kind of to bring into the symbol some more is, so how that came about for me initially, and I'd love to hear more about you for the audience as well. For me, like how the symbol of an orange came about was, so it was in lockdown. I'd just been through my first 8 months of therapy. I'd just been to India, and I was now back in lockdown. I was living with a friend in London, but then they were living with their partner, and I was basically in the flat on my own. And I had like a real sense of really reflecting on things in that time. And something I was really reflecting on in that time was, like, what have I just been through therapy? And then going to India as well, like when I came back from India, I experienced in India, kind of going through all the different faiths, so Hinduism, Sikhism, like all the different faiths. I went to all the different temples, but one like faith or something that wasn't, like, I didn't see so much of celebrated in India was Tantra. So, and that was really interesting to me, because like it then kind of like, but when I came home, I was like just really fascinated by like what is like sex basically. Like getting right into it, because like I guess like having my own story of how I came into the world, and how we all come into the world, like for me, like I've just been really fascinated by like what is it that like how do we create, like and that kind of really came into me really wanting to understand Tantra when I came home. And
did you have that interest before you went to India? Was that something that came through you being there and being curious? Was it already like brewing away, or was it something you kind of came home and thought, yeah, I want to look more into that?
Yeah, like it's a bit of a question. Like it was something that I've been interested in, but not like I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
You know, and like I think when I came, like I think the real nub of it was, yeah, like how like what is sex, and how and how what is a relationship, and going into understanding how we connect, and I don't know, like just growing up within that space, is like I just wanted to understand like just more about the subject. It felt like it wasn't something that I was taught as a school. As a school, I wanted to really explore it, and that really, coming out of therapy, going to India, coming back home and learning about Tantra on my coming home, like putting all those pieces together, I then was like, what's just happened? So that then kind of like led me to just try to journal out exactly what I've just experienced.
Did you feel different on the other side of those experiences? It sounds like you were like almost coming through the other side and thinking like, how do I integrate this? How do I make sense of like all this? It also sounds really beautiful, because it sounds like you were like following this, listening in and following this like natural stream of your curiosity, like exploring faith and like all these kind of questions about how to be in connection and like really the essence of life in a way that you're
that's a really good
exploring.
Point. I think I really like the way you said that, essence of life. Yeah. Because I guess I've just kind of said that in a really rambly way, and like almost like trying to feel that thread myself as I go along. But you've just basically said it there. It's like the essence of life. Like, what is life? You know, like why are we here? And kind of like really getting to the core of it.
Yeah.
And for me, like so after I kind of learnt about Tantra, experienced India, gone through therapy, I also did masterclasses in like through lockdown as well, and like I was learning from Spike Lee how to make films. I was learning from Samuel Jackson how to act. Amazing. I was learning from Neil Gaiman about how to write books. Yeah. Mark Atwood about how to make an amazing TV series. So I was literally having like a minefield of stuff.
Yeah. What cool curriculum.
Also learning how to play music, and it's like all this stuff was coming in, and my mind was just like blown. I just basically re-educated myself in this 3 months. Yeah. So I needed to channel it into something. Yeah. So Neil Gaiman in the masterclass that I did, via masterclass, plug for masterclass there, because I said it 10 times. And so that really led me into the quote that he said was, "Finish something, always finish." So if you start something,
oh my god, that's such a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, finish it. So then that kind of
builds some kind of muscle, doesn't it, creatively, or like a backbone of something, of like staying with something, see it through, whatever it is. Yeah. The whole cycle, the whole process.
Yeah, exactly that. And that kind of came into then me channeling it all down, and just writing. And there was a short story competition that was coming up at the end of that May, and I thought, cool, I'm just going to write a short story and submit it to this.
Oh, cool.
And there was this moment where I sat on the couch, and I was just eating an orange, and wasn't thinking about this, but I noticed myself like really being careful about taking the peel off because I didn't want to leave any mess anywhere. And yeah, then I kind of really was journaling out my relationship to eating an orange.
Yeah.
And the story grew and grew, and then the short story was then born to basically, like, we've all got this authentic juice inside of us, and it's our life's purpose to squeeze this unique juice out, because if we don't, the skin's going to basically collapse and the juice will just die, and then no one will get to see what's inside.
No, that's so sad. That eventuality, yeah, it's so true though, isn't it? What a beautiful symbol. It's just such a, such a like reminder to be courageous as well, to be brave, to let ourselves be seen, to express. Because I think also, as you said that, and you were saying if we don't, like the thing shrivels and like, it just made me think. Actually, I remember reading things where they say actually unexpressed creativity is also not benign. Like it turns into something quite dark. Like it turns into something kind of bitter, So like if we don't actually express what's inside of us, we create quite a lot of suffering for ourselves, or we can turn quite bitter as well. So yeah, it's really important, isn't it? And I really hear that journey that you went on to really find that channel. And you've actually got like I always remember noticing quite early on in our relationship, because you've got half an orange like tattooed on your wrist.
Yeah, just there.
Is that your reminder to keep squeezing the juice?
So yeah, it's the whole thing of this is it's on my pulse, and this is my creative hand.
Oh wow!
So right-handed. So every
I
time
didn't realise that. Yeah.
So every time I'm writing, I'm squeezing juice out.
Yeah. You're literally juicing the orange every time you create something. Oh, I love that. I didn't quite connect it in that way. That's beautiful.
But then connecting all the way back to Tantra.
Yeah.
Connecting all the way back to Tantra, like because from Tantra I learned that we're all energy.
Yeah.
And we've got these 7 energy points within us.
Yeah, there's the chakras.
The different chakras.
Yeah.
And the sacral chakra, source the sex center, is where all your creative juice lives.
Okay.
And it's like, there's, for me personally, like at the time I was feeling a lot of shame about all that creativity that I had.
Yeah.
And it was like my chakras weren't aligned.
Yeah.
Into this, because I was holding it all in.
Yeah.
And it's been a real journey of like kind of just aligning my chakras in a way to just allow my creativity to come out. And that's where all the creative juice and the orange symbol comes from, because the sacral chakra is orange.
Ah, beautiful. Okay, so it all kind of connects.
Yeah, and then
so
that
literally
that
as a metaphor
there.
for like juicing as well. I'm also almost imagining like juicing that energy center and letting it flow up and out through us, connecting it with the throat, connecting it with the voice or the expression, whatever that might look like, the movement, like whatever it might be, so that it can be released. Wow. What supported you to, like, because that's what I work with a lot as well, is because shame can be such a dense like energy. So shame can be such a dense thing to break through, to work through. And it's also got a layer of protection in it, hasn't it? It kind of keeps us a little bit hidden away. But what supported you, do you think, to break through that shame, or to transform that shame, or to start to release some of that energy? Because I think it's quite a big pathway for people. I work with a lot of adults who have a lot of shame.
I think, like there's been a lot of, because I really want to come into your connection to orange.
Oh yeah,
because you also have an important part of this that we need to do.
We do. Let's go back. Let's backtrack.
But I want to touch on something there. Like, there's been a lot of experimentation of different methods, but the one thing above all else that has supported me the most is having the courage to be vulnerable and to dig into that a bit further, because I know Brené Brown does a lot of work with that, so I'm not citing exactly what she says, but I'm inspired by what she what she does and what she speaks about.
Yeah.
Like how I describe vulnerability is the ability to speak your truth. So linking it all the way back to the portrait that I gave to you and created for you, like within that process of like taking a photo of you, like getting to know your story through it, and then actually painting the portrait. That was a way of me like moving everything out of the way. And in that time when I was painting your portrait, like the truth of how I felt about you and what I saw in you came through, and then I was painting it on my own as well.
Yeah.
And then being able to then whatever came through me in that 4 hours that I was painting your portrait, then just giving you like that reflection back as raw as it came to me.
Yeah.
And just that honest link back to you.
Yeah.
Almost like just creates that channel of this is what that came to me and this is it going directly to you.
Yes.
There's no editing process.
Yeah.
And creating that channel has been the biggest support, because basically that's kind of gone from all the way from me as it came to me all the way to you.
Yeah.
And doing that repeatedly with the other portraits that I've created, the other people who have then been blessed to have commissions to do portraits of people, and all of them and just follow the same process. And within that I've written songs within those portraits. I've written stories back to those people, reflected back to them, and they've all been connections and relationships. But boiling it all down is that speaking the absolute truth has been the one thing, and because that takes so much courage, because you might say something that you later then might think, oh, I wish I didn't say that, or is that too much? Like, what are we gonna think of me? So you have to kind of like get rid of all that, all those thoughts, remove them all out of the way, and just go for it. So yeah, just that above all else is speaking absolute truth. Honesty,
just being really honest.
Really honest.
I'm hearing it almost as like a bridge as well. Like you were saying, there's like a shame around that sacral chakra and all that energy there, all the creative energy there. So it sounds like you've almost found a way to like bridge across. It sounds like a real active connection. Like, here is my honest expression. Here is all this juice that lives in me, and I'm gonna share it so that you can really connect with it. And see it. And it's like a gift. It's like an offering as well of yourself. Yeah. Which is like,
Well, a good friend of mine, Solomon Slade, he basically coined this about the word intimacy. And he goes, into me you see. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. That's so, into me you see. Yeah. And that's exactly what it is.
That's so true.
Because then it's a connection. You're on a cycle together. It's like you're on this cycle like this, but then as soon as you then kind of like open it authentically, then you open this channel that's like this, someone else sees it, connects, and then you're kind of on this cycle together. But the more people you do that with, the more this gets, and you build a community.
And that's what kind of connects us to the universe, like because one of the big things in your art as well is that you often use the same 4 or 5 colours, don't you? 6 colours. 6 colours. Because that message that you're communicating there is that we're all actually made up universally of the same, like that kind of oneness in a way as well. So I guess the more we can offer our unique expression. I love that idea. I was reading something recently that was saying like every single person has their own unique pattern inside of them, which is part of the whole. And we're all going to express it really differently, but we need every single person's expression of the whole to be to like get a sense, to be able to see more clearly, to have a sense of like we're all going to see things differently basically, but everybody's got their own way of like their own gift to offer in their unique way of seeing, and it all kind of adds together to make this like cool stew. Like, oh brilliant, we need all those ingredients to cook up something probably quite full on with all of it in there, but tasty.
This is actually coming to a very relevant point.
Yeah, back to the orange. This is what we're trying to get to.
Because first thing I want to know about you before we go into this, because I've just given you my orange story. So I want to now hear your origin orange
Okay,
story.
my orange story. So, yeah, the
The
orange...
origin.
Yeah, do you know what? It is interesting what the orange symbolises, isn't it? Because for me also, somehow the orange... And that's what I noticed when I saw your tattoo and you told me about what the orange means to you, because the orange is also really symbolic to me somehow. And I think it started like a few years ago. I was in a place in my life where I think I've just felt a bit lost, probably. I was heartbroken and I felt a bit like a lot of people around me were going on certain paths that were quite clear, and I felt a bit like I don't know what I'm doing. So I went on my first ever silent meditation retreat because I thought, okay, that's a way to listen in, and it was a really amazing experience to go and do that, to get so quiet and still for 10 days and slow down so much. And actually I had a really ecstatic experience with an orange. So I was eating an orange and I was just bawling my eyes out because it was so it felt ecstatic eating this orange. It was just so amazing. I was so slowed down and quiet that everything about the orange was just like incredible. Like the skin, the smell, the texture, the taste, so that I was just crying with joy, like eating this orange, because it made me so happy having this orange. So for me, it just reminds me, and I also had a bit of a vision of an elder, and I was eating an orange with an elder, and she turned and said to me, this is all it is. This is life. It's sharing moments of being. And we were just sharing an orange together. And it really made me feel like relaxed somehow. Like this is what I took away from getting so still and quiet. It was like, actually, yes, we need to think about the wider field of our lives and have goals and set things up. But actually, you can only ever really live in the moment, or life is here in this moment. And it's just about sharing, being as present as you can, sharing moments of real connection where you can with people. And those worries, because I think I was a bit in that space of like, I need to figure things out. And it just gave me this message of like, maybe you don't need to figure things out. I came away from that space feeling actually really peaceful. Like, no, I'm exactly where I need to be. I don't need to figure anything out. I just need to keep flowing and moving and see, let things unfold, and kind of trust actually in allowing a bit more space to let that creative energy come through me and be in relationship with it. But a bit of like, I guess, how do we surrender as well? Because so much, I think sometimes as humans we learn to try and control things and figure things out. So something I learned from the mighty orange is if we can create a bit of space to like let go of some of that control, then we can almost be more in connection with the juice and the flow and the creative energy that can then, it's almost like allowing yourself to empty out so you can be an instrument, and then being like, how does it want to come through me? Actually, can I listen and make space so that I can like be in devotion to that energy, that life force in some way.
Yeah, I really like that. And just, I guess, one thread that I really loved about that is this whole thing of you feeling that you needed to do something, but then sharing an experience with someone whilst eating an orange. It just, the one thing that came through was being and relaxing into who you are. And not feeling you have to kind of follow a certain path.
No.
And just kind of really feeding into what you have inside you. So I think this kind of feels like a good interlude. And to those listening, who wants to do this along, this would be a good time to grab yourself an orange. Or if you grab yourself an orange later, feel free to listen to this back and follow us do this together again. But like first up is, so we sat here with 2 oranges. And these oranges were bought from Taj along Western Road in Hove.
I love that
towards
shop.
Brighton. It's
Yeah.
actually in Hove, actually, not Brighton. And yeah, there was on that, to paint a picture or portrait of what I saw was there was a big shelf of oranges, and I was there for 10 minutes, just really sort of like picking up oranges, and all these oranges, like, yeah, they're all the same, very much like that could have been a crowd of people, but these two oranges really stood out to me. And the thing that stood out to me was this one, because, and to describe this one, it's got leaves and it's got like a flowery head on it, and this other one has, which, Rosanna, I'll let you pick this one up.
Okay, yeah. So this other one's got one leaf on the top of it. It's called a Sinfonia orange. It's very shiny.
Yeah.
It's looking like it's got a very glossy coat this morning. And it's got like different shades of orange as well. There's some like lighter orange and then some really deep, brighter orange around the other side. So it's got a lot going on, this orange.
Yeah. But then the thing is, like, these two oranges haven't actually met each other yet, but they're the same breed. They're both San Antonio, and they're both the same, right? But
yeah,
what's really cool about this is, like, on the outside, it's just an orange, and it's got its own personality. But if these two oranges meet, like, how do you then get to know each other? And
is this the bit where the intimacy comes in? Because they got to start taking their peels off. Got to start getting a bit naked together.
Yeah, but then
Start revealing what's under the jacket.
Yeah, and this kind of comes into what you said, right? Because, like, you've got these two oranges, and if you just leave those two oranges, and then eventually they'll just go brown, and then they'll go mouldy, and then they'll die. But, like, there's a good opportunity here because, like you said there, like, the stew of life, it's like releasing what's inside of you.
Yeah.
And it's a whole thing of, yeah, cool. So now, if we were to peel the skin off these oranges, which
we're gonna do right now.
But even that there, like, kind of like, as soon as you start peeling it, there's this whole thing of, okay, cool, like, I'm opening the skin.
Oh, it smells amazing.
Yeah, that zestiness.
I love the smell of the orange.
And it's like the sensory experience of this, and like, you're getting into it, and yeah, like, there's...
My supervisor, who I work with in my work, who's like a therapist who's supporting me and talk through the work that I do with, she in the winter used to give me little bits of orange peels. We'd eat an orange together sometimes, and she'd give it to me to take with me because the smell is so, like, it's so uplifting, especially in the winter months. So she would say, like, put it in your coat pocket, so you've got a little bit of orange.
Yeah.
And it was a really nice connection to her too. Oh wow, look at these segments.
Yeah. And
there's so much happening in an orange.
Yeah, like, the cool thing is, it's like there's two different oranges here.
Yeah.
On the outside, they look the same, but this juice is unique to this one orange.
Yeah.
And no two oranges taste exactly the same.
No, they're going to taste a little bit different, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's like...
But they also have, like, they're also connected. They're a similar shape, aren't they? Similar. Should we go for it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like... I guess that's what the message is.
What one of these? Swap.
Yeah, allow yourself to let your juice out.
Yeah.
But how nice is this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I, like, bought the orange, came here, and then we're experiencing the inside.
So let yourself brave and have the courage to share. To share yourself with the world.
Yeah, because
with others.
The skin is a protective layer. And if you keep the protective layer on, then, yeah, you'll be safe. but you never allowing yourself out.
Yeah. There's like a full contact moment, isn't there, where we're like eating the orange.
And I guess, like, why is it important to share what's inside?
I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier, that if we don't share what's inside, it's quite tragic, really. I think it's really sad. God, I feel quite emotional saying it. Yeah, because it's almost like the human heart, I think, longs to be known and longs to be in connection. And so if we don't share it, then, like we said, that can go a bit bitter, or can never feel like it can dance or connect with others. So there's something about, we're only going to feel as connected. It's kind of in direct relationship, isn't it? You're only going to, the more you allow yourself to be vulnerable and let things out, like you said, then the more you're inviting connection into your life.
Yeah, and like it's that what you said there as well, and it's like, if you don't, then you simply don't.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're eating this orange, and this is nutrients.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually good for our health. And we're getting to experience what this orange has to say.
Yeah. I like that, what the orange has to say.
And like,
what are you sharing with us, Orange? What do you want to tell us?
what we've got to say.
Yeah, what you've got to say for yourself.
And it's like, if you don't, it's like, well, the world just never gets to see you.
Yeah, that's a tragedy, isn't it? That's really sad.
And it's like, it's a life cycle. It's like, you're born, and then you go.
Yeah.
And within that period, you've got the opportunity to share.
Yeah.
And express.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, for me, like, bring it into some real practical sense.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm sharing with the world is, like, my experience.
Yeah.
And experiencing, like, something I love to do is, just to try things for the first time.
You're really good at that. You're really brave at that. That always inspires me about you, because you try all sorts of stuff and you just go for it. Things that I'm sometimes like, that looks really scary. And you're like, yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm breaking through the fear, I'm going to go and do it anyway. And then I guess through doing that, I imagine you then lose the fear. You live into your own courage there of like, actually, what's the worst that can happen, you know? Who cares?
But using that as an example there, it's like, and that's where the orange piece really comes out, because, for example, like, I could continue to keep doing those things, and keep those new experiences and doing them by myself. Yeah. But if I'm then, for me, like, I want to then share those experiences with people, and it's like, that's the connection piece. It's like, it's amazing to experience something for the first time. Like today, we went to the sauna for the first time together, which was amazing.
Jumped in the sea. Bloody freezing, but brilliant.
Yeah. And we're sharing those experiences together. Yeah. And it's like, by sharing that experience, it's, makes it something that we're then connecting on. Yeah. And I think, coming back to the point of like how I'm expressing myself to the world, it's like, just being able to really share those stories and those moments. And I love bringing my lived experiences to life through my art, you know. So whether that be making a song, making a piece of artwork, making a short film, writing a book about, or like a post, or writing a story about the thing I've experienced, then got this collection of stories that I can share with people, and that's effectively what this is right now. This is very much sharing the juice into the world by being open and vulnerable and sharing real lived experiences. And
absolutely,
this podcast episode is basically a segment.
It is. It's a segment of the orange, isn't it? Right here, I'm now eating my whole orange. I have to say, I've actually finished the whole thing. That's delicious. Thank you.
So I guess.
But I was also just wanted to say as well, because I think something that helps me sometimes when I get that fear of sharing, all the voices or the fear of judgment, or like what will people think of me, or you know, whatever the fears might be, we all have them. There's critical voices that can come up. It's there's a pigeon and he's limping a bit, but he's coming in. He wants to get involved. He wants to share his orange juice. But anyway, sorry. I just wanted to say that I think it really helps me when I'm in those moments to remember and reframe it. And I was hearing it in what you were saying about sharing, that actually sharing our creativity or sharing ourselves, showing up in that way is generous as well. It's actually a way of including ourselves, like belonging into the world. Like we're kind of following our longing to allow ourselves to belong as well, to say I'm actually going to open myself up here and bring myself in, because it's actually like a generous gift to other people, because it also then can invite other people to do the same. It's like saying, I want to connect with you, I'm here. So it's that often helps me when I get into that sort of headspace about wanting to hide, which I do quite a lot, I have to say as well. So it's good to remember actually, like that it's almost like if you hide away, then you're hoarding all your gifts to yourself. That's not it's not very generous. Bring it out.
But then you also don't hide as well, because you dance, you make art, you make like amazing you do yoga, like you've got like a lot of expression that you do as well. And I think like we all kind of do hide, and I think that the fact that you have a lot of things that you don't, you also like push past that as well. And you also do actually go into the world and you do express. And I think that's your amazing capabilities, and the way that you kind of like really put yourself out into the world. And I think that's what it's all about. It's just really allowing yourself to just keep doing that. And the more you express yourself, the more you kind of let yourself out, the more people see you, the more people connect with you, and then you get this amazing stew of orange juice that is your flavour.
Squeezing the juice.
Cocktails of different juices coming into it, and then all these cocktails that you don't even know what they are. Like, just appear. And happen.
Good vitamin C.
Good vitamin C. You know what I mean? Like the world's healthier place, because your vitamin C is fueling the next vitamin C, and then you get vitamin double C, you know, triple C, quadruple C. You know what I mean? All the C together, and then it's like that's how you heal the world, by expressing creativity, because that's how, again, linking all the way back to Tantra, is like that's how we come into this world. You know what I mean? Like through creation, through creative juices, like colliding
through that life
to
force
make
energy of creation.
So
beautiful. Thank
procreate
you.
And create. Mix your creative juices.
That's
and what we have right now
Go have
is
babies and eat oranges.
a segment of orange juice. Orange. Do you want to take one?
Oh yeah.
And I'll take the other. And we've just had 28 segments of oranges, and tag that. Eat that.
Thank you.
I guess the message to share is
just have babies and eat oranges.
And just keep squeezing.
Keep creating,
The words wow, mama. Let your juice out and grab yourself an orange, and an invitation to grab yourself an orange and just allow yourself to
brave unpeeling it. Brave letting yourself out and sharing moments of being with people like we have just now. Thanks, Ashish. It's been great to have a chat this morning. And this pigeon is still hanging around. We've got a little mate. Can we play the mate? Oh no. Look.
Oh.
Hello.
Hey there. And, the last thing I'd say as well is, if you do want an amazing art psychotherapist to help you unleash some of your creativity and unwind your internals, then look no further than the world class.
Thanks.
Repeat that again. The world class Rosanna Cooper, and she'll be able to help you just unleash that inner side of you.
Thank you. That's very generous. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I run one-to-one sessions with adults, and I also run groups as well. So I run a writing meditation group at the moment, which is once a month, which is all about exactly what we've been talking about. It's free writing and meditating. So it's really about not editing and getting to the juice, like letting it stream out of us really unedited, because that often gets to the original place in us before our second thoughts and editing comes in. Yeah.
Yeah. So loads of love.
Day, everyone. Loads of love. Thanks for listening. If you have.
And that sounds amazing, Rosanna.
Yeah, thank you.
I love that the workshop that you run. I've experienced it myself, and I
you
highly
have.
recommend it.
It's great to have you there.
Yeah, we'll let you now
go.
and
Let you go and eat your orange. Go and enjoy your orange. Exactly.
Right, loads of love.
Loads of love. Signing out. Take care. Thanks, Assis.